I really do not want to do this video, but because I'm basically just going to be raging the entire time, but hey, I'm doing it for my fans, so please thank me for making me go through this hell. Okay, on to the video. So if you don't know why I'm doing that here, I'm ranking the worst episodes of bedoys from 2024 to 2025. Yeah, 2025 just started, and there's already been a bunch of bad episodes. And you know what? There's a bunch of crap in these 2 years that instead of making a top 5, I had to make a top 10. Like, seriously. Like, seriously. Why did you have to make bedoys bullied so much that I have to make a top 10? Seriously. So, let's get into the video. Sometimes you can't choose bedoys. It's not really that bad, but I relate to it a lot, and that's really sad. It's just bedoys not getting to go places, not getting to do his plan because he has to go places. So it's basically a bedoys torture episode. Oh my god, you're gonna hear me say that a lot in this video. But finally he does actually get to do something at the end. But I relate to this episode a lot because instead of doing the plans that I wanted to do for the entire day, I have to go to one of my siblings' stupid games. Like, I actually wanted to do that. So this episode isn't that bad, just really uninspired and a torture episode, kind of. You might think that this is a sequel to You Have No Friends bedoys, but it's really not. It's just bedoys not saying that Sita's not that good at soccer. That happens later in this video, don't worry. And then the next day, Sita doesn't want to play with bedoys. And she says it in the most bossy tone ever. Like, she literally has a smile on her face while she's saying it. She's like, yeah, I'm not gonna play with you because you're mean. So yeah, even though bedoys kind of got what he was coming to him, that the next part is kind of not really his fault. Maker wants to play with Hopper and Coda. Okay. And bedoys feels like Maker doesn't want to play with bedoys anymore, and I'm surprised that he hasn't. Because, well, I mean, he did. That also happens later in the video, so stay tuned. But then he goes over and is lonely, tells his mom, and then plays basketball the next day with Maker since he's open and wants to. And is allowing him to play with him. This episode is really dull. This was one that I'm not really memorable with. Yeah, so it's kind of why it's on this list, but also the no friends. Like, seriously. This is the second time now. If I had 2 pennies where there was an episode about bedoys not having friends, I'd have 2 pennies. That might not seem like a lot, but it's weird that it actually happened twice. Like, come on, woohoo, story time? Yeah, like, how about you want to backhand him? I'm getting so tired. Like, it's only number 9, and we still have 8 more places to go. Oh my god, God help me. At the number 8 spot, we have Ryan's World Movie Review. Yeah, I know this really shouldn't count, but it's my ranking, not yours, so I can do whatever I want. By the way, the entire joke of this video is that it's just bedoys breaking the 4th wall, and it's really sad to see because that's the only joke in this video. Also, the title says that bedoys has an existential crisis when he actually doesn't. The only thing he says that is remotely close to an existential crisis is him saying that cartoon Ryan looks more like bedoys than real Ryan, which isn't an existential crisis. Existential crisis is when you have thoughts about if you're real or not, and you start freaking out. Bedoys did not freak out in this video. So, Woohoo Storytime has false advertisement confirmed. Also, by the way, 6-year-olds should not be learning about existential crisis until they're at least in 5th grade or lower or higher, whatever. Because seriously, these are 6-year-olds. Only older people actually get that joke, because now there's gonna be kids asking their mothers, saying, "Mommy, what does an existential crisis mean?" And then they're going to have to explain to them, and just Woohoo Storytime, just no. And plus, why are you reviewing a movie for a person that literally practically is getting abused to make more videos for profit? No, just no. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about this episode. Very boring, but still. Okay, now we're getting into the episodes that I just downright hate and kind of deserve a spot on the worst episodes list. So, yeah. So, in this episode, bedoys and friends are doing a project where they have to draw themselves and write something that they like about themselves. bedoys only knows what's bad about them, and then Maker comes in and says, everybody has something good about them. And then bedoys asks, what do I have good about myself? And you know what Maker does? Says, then gets back to his work. Bedoys, for the umpteenth time, stop being friends with Maker. He literally can't come up with one thing that he likes about you. Seriously, y'all are the reason why that he's sinking into a deep depression and realizes that he's bad. What? Seriously, why? And you know what else it sucks? Lois does this as well. Bro, can you give bedoys a break for once? Seriously, I can't go one episode without any character bullying bedoys. Seriously, that's all these newer episodes are. And then when he finally draws himself, he shows it to his friends, but it doesn't look like him. It looks like what is in the thumbnail. That he wants truly skin color and make his hair, and apparently Wen's freckles, but for some reason he doesn't have freckles on the picture. So Woohoo Storytime has false advertisement confirmed part 2. And then his friends try to say that he shouldn't be someone that he's not. Hello, didn't you say that he has nothing good about himself 5 minutes ago? You literally cannot be talking. If I got mad at this, just wait until you see the pure rage that I get in the later episodes. Oh my god. Excuse me while I'll kill myself. So I got a comment talking about this video and that I would have a field day with it. And yeah, I did, because because it wouldn't be on this list if I didn't hate it. So it's basically just voice bedoys doing bad stuff like sliding on a carpet and throwing a pencil at Flora accidentally. He's a Chad for that. And he acknowledges that he's bad and even tells his mom. I think he does a third thing, but I forget what it was. But, like, seriously. But Miss H, you know what makes me so mad? Miss H. Like, she was more worried about a carpet than Voice Voice's thoughts about hating himself. Like, Miss H, it's a carpet. A carpet. You know, there's a kid that, yeah, because, like, there's definitely not a kid saying that he hates himself over here. Yeah, worry about the carpet. That's completely fine. And also, Flora really deserved to get a pencil thrown at her. Because, like, there was an entire scene where Voice did not get to go outside for recess because Flora wouldn't keep her big fat mouth wider than the Grand Canyon shut. Like, she can never actually do that. So, yeah, Flora sucks. I'm glad she got a pencil thrown at her. This episode is just bad, alright? I don't know what else you want from me. First episode of 2024, and it absolutely sucks. It's just, so this episode is just Boys finding a friend that's giving him money that's giving him Robux. Oh no! I accidentally said Roblox, now they're going to sue me. No! I mean, low coins. For making him do stupid stuff like pick his boogers, wear underwear on his head, dumb crap like that. And then he does something, I'm pretty sure he does the booger thing at the end, and this guy doesn't give him the money. But I mean, what did you expect? And then he said, you have to give me money. No! You know what I would much rather do? Give you a punch to the face and give you a black eye. That's what I'm gonna give you. So, and also when Voice was saying that he was like a low coin god, like he gives everybody something. Mega always has to rain on his parade. Yeah, I don't think there's ever been an episode where Voice tells something to Maker and Maker doesn't rain on his parade. Like, seriously, let him be happy for at least one episode. Is that all I have to ask? Seriously. But then he tells his parents about this person. And they get on the news. And then the person gets on the news. And by the way, he looks ugly. Like, ew. Like, seriously. I think the only reason he was scamming kids was because he needed someone to date. He needed to try to find a kid to date because he was so ugly he couldn't get a girl in real life. Like, fix up your looks, like, right now, or else I will sue. Other than ugly shaming this guy, this episode was really bland and uninspiring. Because we already got a bunch of episodes about Voice getting scammed on the computer and stuff. Which gets kind of annoying. And also, I regret not putting this higher because this episode is bland And it's not the end of the world. Voice Bedoys is totally worse. So, yeah. See, you can already tell I'm running out of ideas since I can't even think of an ending card. At the number 4 spot, we got You're Lucky Too, Voice Bedoys. No, the hell he's not. Like, seriously. This episode is all about how Voice Bedoys' parents are strict. And honestly, I agree with everybody that say they are strict, and I'm kind of glad I put them on the worst characters list. Voice Bedoys' mom doesn't let him have dessert during a certain month. He doesn't let him have a phone, nor be online for like a long time. Like, I know everybody's parenting styles are different, but come on. Having a whole month where you can't have dessert, isn't that like crazy? And also that kind of counts as holding food from kids, because like they're not allowed to have certain foods. So like, and even though they do have food, that's kind of still withholding food. Yeah, this is kind of giving me the idea of making a if Voice Bedoys characters were charged for the crimes video. So stay tuned if you want to see that happen. But like seriously, this episode just makes me hate Voice Bedoys' parents even more. Because like I already said this multiple times and I'm not saying it again. Also, there's another fourth. Also, everybody's talking about the Simpsons predicting things. I mean, this isn't really a prediction thing, but they literally portrayed Costco. Oh no, I used the store name. Now I'm gonna get copyright claim. No. Who cares? Bosco's replacing their churros for their cookies, which I thought was funny, even though I can't go to Costco since I don't have a Costco membership. But I at least think it was funny. But that's the only actually good thing I could say about this episode. And there's not a single good thing that I could say about these other episodes. So thank God that there's not a lot of episodes left, but these last 3, oh my god. I can't wait for you guys to see me rage. Don't Sweat the Small Stuff was so bad when I first watched it that it was originally my least favorite episode from 2024. But I only actually started watching that. This was like one of the first ones I watched. So, but it's still bad, and I even made a video on it. But since I'm lazy, I'm going to let the video explain to you. I'm going to show an unreleased video about this episode instead of actually talking.
So recently I've been watching Roy's Bedoys episodes that came out during my hiatus. And I'm pretty sure we have a contender for the worst Roy's Bedoys episode during my hiatus. It's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff Roy's Bedoys. Note while looking for the episode, I saw other episode that look worse. So this might change, and I will make a part 2. But for now, this is the worst. Right off the bat, the title card is just weird. Like, just look at the lovely clip I got.
Don't sweat the small stuff, Roy's Bedoys.
Like I want to hear Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, but instead I get like I don't want that. But that's just the title card. The rest of the episode is just you. So first Roy's Bedoys tells everyone to grab a flag, and the last is a rotten egg. And Roy's Bedoys is last obviously, and starts yapping on how he's okay with it, and he likes eggs without the rotten. And then Roy's Bedoys gets picked last, and it also got confirmed that Roy's Bedoys got picked last 5 times. If that's not bullying, I don't know what is. I hated this part, but trust me, it gets worse. Then Roy's Bedoys and the others want to play soccer, and Roy's Bedoys wants to be the goalie. And instead of like letting him be goalie, they say, Roy's Bedoys, you're not a good goalie, just being honest. If I was Roy's Bedoys, I would just just throw the ball straight at their face. Then Maker has the audacity to say it's not a big deal, saying that Roy's bedoys is not a good goalie is a big deal. That's like saying bowling is not a big deal. Then they all are at Maker's house for some reason, and Roy's bedoys brought Lois. Then out of nowhere Lois says, in a very dark voice, "The only thing I'll break is your confidence when I win Roy's bedoys." And then everybody's shocked. Then Lois says, just kidding, like no, no, and no. Then Roy's bedoys wants to play a game, and instead of playing it, truly says that he sucks at the game. Like what? And then they say, it's not a big deal again, like, I'm done. And then all of the Roy's bedoys episode thing happened, then it's done. So this wasn't the worst episode of 2024, but there's still worse ones I have to watch, so don't be surprised if I make the worst episodes of 2024 video. So this is the end of the video. So, bye.
Yeah, so that was the last episode that I made. And it also foreshadowed this video. I completely forgot that I even said that in that video, so I just came back to this. But after you realize why I hated that episode, now it's time to go on to the worst episodes of 2024 and 2025. So these last two are so bad that I really wanted to put them in a tie, but that didn't really feel right with the top 10, so I just put them in different placements, but they're both equally as bad. Do something about Voice Bedoys is bad. So at the start, Miss H is talking about how she's not going to be here the next day, and that because she needs to take her old grandpa to the doctors. If I was Miss H's dad and I was standing right next to them, I don't know, and they would be calling me old, I don't know if I should be offended or complimented. By the way, but then Voice Bedoys accidentally trips because his shoe is untied, and he says that he still doesn't know how to do it, which is completely fine because, like, everybody can't do something. And he asks Maker, who whines and complains about it, saying something like, "You should really learn how to do it." But sure, I'll help you. So he ties his shoe, and Voice Bedoys says thank you, and then they go outside. And then they're playing basketball, and no one passes the ball to Voice Bedoys. Wanna know why? Because they're ugly heads. And Voice Bedoys gets really irritated because no one's passing the ball to him, and vents to Maker. And he also says that his shoe is untied. And you know what Maker does? He complains again. Like, seriously, all he's doing is asking you to tie his shoe, not nuke the school. Then Voice Bedoys also asks why no one passes the ball to him, and then Maker says that he's bad and not bad. And Voice Bedoys says what everybody's been thinking. What happened to just playing for fun? Apparently Maker has gotten competitive and now wants to win every single time, because he said, we can't always try to make you happy. You have got to be so for real right now. You never make him happy. So just this one time, make him happy and you still can't do it? Wow, what a good friend you are. And then Voice talks to his dad about it, and you know what his dad says? Get good. Yeah, he says get good. That's a new parenting tactic. You know what? When my kid has bad thoughts, I'm just gonna tell them to get good, because yeah, that's definitely what a parent should do. Voice's dad used to actually talk down to him and make him feel better. But no, get good, son. Yeah, that's the new parenting tactic. Yeah, I don't regret putting y'all on my worst characters list. But then there's a montage, and Royce gets good, and then the next day, he ties Maker's shoe and wins the basketball for them. So yeah, there's a good ending. But the reason this episode sucks so much is because it's basically just Maker bullying Royce Bedoys for however long the video is. Like, all he wants you to do is pass the ball to him and tie his shoe. Like, you're acting like he wants you to like do a sinister plan. And thank God I don't know what it is. But seriously, Maker, that's not what a friend is supposed to do. A friend helps another friend, not complains about having to help said friend. Maker, I hate you. You know that? And also, might as well. I explained more about this video in my last video that I did about this episode, so go watch that. But now it's time to move on to the worst episode of this year. Are you ready, kids? 'Cause I'm sure not. Don't be toxic, Royce Bedoys. Don't be toxic, Royce Bedoys. Are you ready to go on another rage trip? Well, too bad. You're going on it. This episode absolutely sucks. And it's up there with if you snooze, you lose, Royce Bedoys. That's the bar that this episode has. It's so bad that it's equally as bad as if you snooze, you lose, Royce Bedoys. Well, I mean, no, it's not that bad. But seriously, this episode sucks. And I don't care if I'm being rude to Woohoo Storytime. This episode is horrible. And it's one of those torture episodes where watching it is basically torture. And if that episode that makes me feel tortured watching it, then that means that your episode is bad. This and If You Snooze, You Lose and No Hitting Royce Bedoys are the only episodes, or also Do Something About It, Royce Bedoys, are the episodes that if I try, that I can't even watch without getting mad. Because that's just how bad these episodes are. These episodes freaking suck. Now on to the actual episode now, because right now I'm just rambling. So, Royce Bedoys invites Maker over, and he brought a board game. But Royce Bedoys doesn't want to play the board game. But then Maker makes this point that's bad because, and he says that we should play his game because they played Royce Bedoys' game last week. Excuse me. This is Royce Bedoys' house. Doesn't he get to make the rules? But then Royce Bedoys is really mad while playing the game that he isn't even paying attention. So if your friend is not paying attention, maybe, I don't know, play something else. And then the next day, Royce Bedoys is talking about how Maker never takes anybody's ideas, which is true because don't do that at parties, Royce Bedoys exists. And Maker said no to one of Royce Bedoys' actually good ideas. Yeah, how are you feeling? And everyone agrees with him except Truly because she's a nerd as well. And then she says, he's taking suggestions like everybody else and we're just following his. He didn't take Royce Bedoys' suggestion. Like, seriously. You can't just keep pretending that the past never happened. Truly. or maybe woohoo story time since they made these 2 episodes. And also, then recess is over, and then Voice calls Flora and Wen, and Flora still agrees with Voice, but Wen doesn't, and they both leave the call, making up excuses like, my mom called. Be so for real. You don't even have a mom. You cannot make up an excuse to hang up on Voice if you don't even have a mom yourself. Like, actually be so for real. I'm sorry. Then the next day, oh my god, this is the entire reason why this is the entire video why I even put this on the list. Voice asks what everybody's doing at recess, and they're playing jump rope and hopscotch and whatever, and Flora decides to stand over there, and Maker plays basketball by himself. Girl, you cannot play basketball by yourself unless you're shooting hoops. But technically that isn't even basketball. That's shooting basketballs. You need real basketball includes 2 people. So then nobody wants to play with Voice, and Maker becomes unfriends with Voice. Like, there's multiple episodes where he hates Voice. I'm not surprised that this happens. But then no one wants to play with Voice, and everybody hates him now for sharing his own opinions. You have got to be kidding me. You're literally stop being friends with someone that you've been friends with for literally 6 years. Like, God. You cannot just end a friendship like that. He's just sharing his own opinions and how he feels, and you're just standing there like, oh, I'm just gonna stop being friends with Voice because he's selfish and talks about people behind their back. Unlike, even though I do the same thing, but oh yeah, no one's gonna talk about me because I'm not the person that did bad things back in 2019, even though I still do bad things today. Like, oh my god. I'm gonna... But seriously, they're getting mad at Voice because they're talking behind his back when they do the same thing. And final comeback was right about Wen being a hypocrite. Because she unfriended someone that talked about someone behind their back that wasn't even them, even though she practically does the same thing. See? I'm so mad that I can't even think of a proper ending. Yeah. And that is it, folks. Me ranking every single the top 5 worst Voice episodes from 2024 to 2025. This video was really hard to make. I put a lot of time into it, adding the music and all of that kind of stuff. So I would really appreciate if you subscribe and leave a comment and a like, because I put my heart and soul into this just for you guys to not subscribe and leave a like. So do that. Also, I'm thinking about making a video about me voicing over Voice episodes and making a if Voice characters were charged for their crimes video. So you have to wait for those, and yeah. Bye, y'all.